Hare Krishna. Yes. Thank you everyone for coming to Saturday Gita class. Can you please move forward? All of us are vegetarian. We will start with prayers and then Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnava वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं पर्यनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुरेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। Shakshtakam prayers. I think we have been discussing that. So maybe we can start with the translations and then we will recite the shlokas together. Anybody like to volunteer for reading the translation?
For years and extinguishes the fire of for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the star in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of past prestige, the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
Thank you. This and what attitude we carry, and incrementally how we can advance in Krishna consciousness just by chanting the holy name of the Lord. We will recite the Sanskrit. I'll lead and you can follow. Yeah. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam.
Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam.
Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam.
Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam.
Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritaswadanam.
Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritaswadanam.
Sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Nam Nam Kari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरणेन काल दुर्दैवमिदृशं यजना निराग दुर्दैवमिदृशं यजना निराग त्रणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना नमानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि न धनं न जनम न धनं न जनं न सुंदरी कवितां वां विषवे भवाम्बुधो कृपया तव पाद पंकजा स्थितधूली सदृशं विचिन्तया I think this is I missed Thank you. So today's topic is lessons from multiple lives of King Bharat. So before we start, gain knowledge. Anybody remember which are there?
Pratyaksha, Anuman and Shabda.
Shabda Praman. Yeah, that's right. So these are three ways to gain the knowledge. The highest one is Shabda Praman, and we can use others to gain the knowledge. And what are the four defects with human beings?
Senses.
Yes, imperfect
senses.
Yeah,
Illusion.
To get
Mistakes and cheating.
propensity to cheating.
Mistakes and cheating.
Yeah, mistakes and cheating. Yeah, these are the four defects with human. So that's why we like to take the knowledge from Shastras. So thank you so much. So I would like to thank Sham Jagannath Prabhu and Mataji, that I know them from more than 10 years. It's always inspiring to be with them, to learn from them. They give so much of their heart so that all of you can take Krishna consciousness. They opened their entire house. So it's been wonderful to, I want to really thank them for all they do for everyone. So India is also known as Bharat. So every country, there is unique selling proposition. It's unique. For example, in Japan, there is a ancient culture. Japanese have preserved their culture, and they also have a very modern technology. They have trains called Shinkansen. In my office, they launched a project and they named it Shinkansen. I said what it is. Then I was looking that, hey, it's the fastest train in Japan, runs at 200 miles per hour. Cars are famous. Take Audi, take BMW, take Porsche, take Mercedes. They're all German. I never knew. When I came to know, wow, Germany is such a special country. All top brands belong to them. I was just looking that Germany also have 3,000 varieties of breads. So similarly, USA also have so many unique selling propositions, like there is a freedom, liberty, technology advancement, and so many things. So for example, UK have a royalty, the monarchy, they have various famous museum like British Museum. So similarly, as India, as a country, also have many USPs, like we have a culture of savings, we have cricket. Cricket is more popular in India, and there is no end to it. They are one of amazing. So there is varieties of food. If you see, India is the most largest vegetarian population, and we are also a developing economy. So beyond that, what's the specialty of India is spirituality and yoga. And if you see all Bay Area's founders, like Steve Jobs, Salesforce founder, they have all gone to India to seek the knowledge of spirituality. So once Srila Prabhupada is very expert in giving TV interviews. So once Srila Prabhupada was in London, and a reporter came and asked Prabhupada, why you have come to London? So what's the purpose of it coming to here to London? So Prabhupada said that actually, so Britain have a British museum. Around there are 8 million items there. It's one of the largest historical museum. But the fun fact is, hardly anything is belong to British. Everything is stolen from different countries in British Empire and displayed there. So Prabhupada said that you have stolen everything from India, but you forgot to take Bhagavad Gita. So I came here to give you the message of Bhagavad Gita, which you have not taken. So that's a speciality of India, the message of spirituality and yoga, which is very unique. So India is named after King Bharat. So today in Srimad Bhagavatam, the life of King Bharat comes. His 3 lives are described in detail. Multiple chapters are dedicated. And Bhagavatam is the highest form of literature. It's the history, and Bhagavatam doesn't contain any kind of ordinary stories. These are stories of Mahajanas, extraordinary devotees of the Lord, and their life stories, life autobiography, it's like their autobiography is described so that we all can learn. All saintly people worship Bhagavatam as Amal Purana. So we will discuss about the 4 lives of Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj was a king. So his father is Rishabhadev. So Rishabhadev have 100 sons. Rishabhadev is very famous, very saintly king. So he had 100 sons. If you see Jaina Dharma, so one of the founder of it is Rishabhadev. So he had 100 sons, and before renouncing everything, he elected Bharat as a king because he was the eldest among 100 kings, 100 sons, and also he was the very devotional and saintly king. So he placed him on a throne, and then he instructed his children in the lessons of spiritual life, and then he renounced the world. So because Bharat Maharaj ruled the world, this planet is, previously it's called Ajanab Varsha, then it's renamed as a Bharat Varsha. So previously entire planet was called, now we know the land of India, we call it as a Bharat. So Bharat Maharaj was a Raj Rishi. So Raj Rishis are those who are kings, they are saintly kings. And when Krishna comes, when Krishna came to, what was the purpose of whole Mahabharat war? The purpose of whole Mahabharat war to install Pandavas as a king because they were saintly. So Krishna likes saintly people, saintly kings. So that's why when Rishabhadev came, he decided to nominate Bharat Maharaj among 100 sons. And then Bharat Maharaj lived an exemplary life. He had a very good training from his father about spiritual life, and then when he came as a king, he took very good care of his citizens. And like Bhagavad Gita verse come like Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihasthini Suni Chaiva Swapaketa Pandita Samadarshana. So a saintly king sees everyone in an equal vision because he sees Atma in him. He doesn't go on bodily color designations. But as a king, you have to discriminate based on you can't go and hug a lion. You have to treat it as a lion, but you don't discriminate. You treat them as a spirit soul and you take care of them. So Bharat Maharaj, as an exemplary king, he took care of his praja as his own children and served them all. And he performed many yagyas, many fire sacrifices. He performed and he made sure that he practiced his spirituality and deity worship or all his spiritual practices nicely, even though as a king. So it's very hard, why sometimes we get a question that why the king's example is mentioned. But if you see, we all work in corporate lives, so we understand that those people, when you go higher, it's so much workload, so much responsibility for a king. So despite that, they prioritize and they do the spiritual life, they practice the spiritual life. So Bharat Maharaj was happy, and then he nicely ruled the kingdom. So based on Bharat Maharaj's life, we can learn many lessons. So one of them is how we balance uh, spiritual life and material life. So when Bharat Maharaj became a king, just before becoming a king, his father instructed them in the spiritual life. So in Rishabh Dev's, the two teachings which are important and we can see from Bharat Maharaj's life, one of them is, he says that you have to do your spiritual duties, material duties as a king, but you also have to focus on spiritual life. We have to balance it out. So many of us question that how we balance out. So this is a tax week. Many of us are working on our taxes. So all of us, if you see, all of us, how many of you put money in retirement accounts? Almost every one of us put money in the retirement account. Now, if you see, we earn enough money, but we have a vision that we need money at the retirement. So whatever we earn, we don't spend everything. What we do, we make sure that we adjust our life such a way that we spend such a way, adjust life are such a way that we save some portion of it for the retirement, because we have that vision that it's important, and that's why we can use it wisely. So same way in spiritual life, we have to understand that spiritual life is also very important. It's not just all material duties and activities. We also have a responsibility for spiritual life. So if we make sure we organize our life such a way that, like we are 401k account, we make sure that we put money reserve no matter what. If we have less money, we'll cut down on expenses. We try to increase our income. We do all sorts of things so that we reserve the money, because we understand its importance, that why we need money at the old age. So same way, if we understand our spiritual life, that hey, it's important, it's very important to me, then we will do all our material adjustment so that we take some time to practice our spirituality. And I have seen many people, if we keep investing in spiritual life, what happens? We will slowly start seeing the return. Just like our 401k account, so that's an important lesson for us, that we have to balance both material and spiritual life. Because if you do just one, if you just earn money and spend everything now, then we will suffer later. Same way, if you don't invest in spiritual life, we are not using best use of our human life. So second lesson from another thing is we have to invest wisely. So Bharat Maharaj was a king, but he invested in his time in spirituality. So same way we have to invest our time. So what's the best investment is we can invest our time in chanting holy name of the Lord, taking spiritual association. Now, sometimes it may not give immediate results, but if you see, like I started working in Bay Area 2010. Now at that time, I used to go on a street, and always there was a big banner, and it was not a very nice place. It was just a farm, and our above farm on Lawrence there was a big banner, and it was written Bitcoins. So I was like, 2010, what is Bitcoin? Every day I used to go read Bitcoin. After a few months I thought, okay, let me Google something, some crypto or something. So and now years passed, now 2025, you see, oh, that time Bitcoin was $1. Now it's like, if you have put $10 also, I would have made so much money. So Bill Gates always say that you can connect dots backward. So we have to choose our investment wisely. So whatever we invest in spiritual life, we prioritize it. Sometimes we may not see the result immediately, but it's guaranteed from scripture that if we invest, we will get it returns. It takes time for us. It's the best investment to invest in chanting holy name of the Lord, reading Bhagavad Gita, taking devotees association, and prioritizing that. And we will get it return eventually. And we can connect the dot later. We may not be able to connect now. So the principle of investment is invest early and you are never late. So we can just take the spirituality as a very, invest our time, energy, so that we can reap the benefit of it. And second teaching which Rishabdev gives to his son is human life is means for performances, like performing penances and austerities. So in animal life, they cannot do penances and austerities, especially for spiritual life. So how many have seen animals can perform the austerities? They cannot perform the austerities. So if you go to SeaWorld, how many of you have gone there? many of us have visited. If you see big orca or so many big dolphins, they just little bit food and they play the trick with them because they are controlled by their senses. They cannot perform austerity. So, but human life is the only life where we can perform austerities. We can voluntarily choose suffering so that we can spiritually advance. But in the path of bhakti, there are not many austerities. Very, very simple. The one basic austerity we can all try is trying to wake a little bit early in the morning. So we were in LA several years back. So there was Bhakti Charu Swami. So he's a big sannyasi. He left his world and we all went to Maharaj, and Maharaj asked at how we can improve our spiritual life. And we thought that he will give a very extraordinary instruction. Then he said to us one thing. He said that you sleep early. That's the only thing he told. Then he said, see, if you sleep early, then everything will be fine. You will wake up early. If you wake up early, you will chant nicely. And if you chant nicely, morning time you spend for spirituality, automatically your day will good. So as a human life, we have to do that austerity, that waking early in the life, like early in the morning. So if you can try that, I think we have a nice japa session in the morning. I see I could join sometime. I want to make it a habit. So if you can join early, for some time, start chanting, and then throughout the rest of the day, we can spend for other things. But at least morning hours, which are Brahma Muhurta hours, we can at least spend for chanting. And so that's another basic austerity we can do. There are many we can do, but start with at least the basic one, like at least waking up early in the morning. And as we discussed, Bharat Maharaj was very compassionate. He showed compassion to everyone. So anybody like to share how we can show compassion? How we can practice compassion?
By helping others.
Yes, by helping others.
Doing service.
Doing service, yeah.
Being empathetic.
Yeah, being empathetic to family members, those who are suffering. Yeah. And also, scripture says that we can also show compassion to ourselves, because as a jiva, we have been suffering from many, many lifetimes. So by cultivating spirituality, we are showing compassion to ourselves so that we can come out of the cycle of birth and death. Because knowingly or unknowingly we are all suffering. So that's something like that spirituality is also a form of compassion for jiva, for ourselves, that we can take out of cycle of birth and death. That's the best help we can show to us. So it's important to show compassion to others, but at the same time, it's important to show compassion to ourselves. So these are some lessons. So Bharat Maharaj finishes his life. He rules for, he was in different yuga. He lived for a long life. So he ruled for many, many years, and he decided that I want to renounce. I want to retire. So he had 5 sons. So what Bharat Maharaj did is he distributed his whole wealth to his 5 kids, took care of his kingdom, and then he decided to leave everything what he has earned and go to the forest to practice spirituality. So he goes to a forest called Pulashram. Pulatsya Rishidis Tapasya there. So he decided to choose there near the bank of Gandaki River. So if you see, Gandaki River is famous. It's in Nepal. So there you will find the Shaligram Shilas. So Shaligram Shilas are very special. They are worshipped in many temples. Advanced devotees worship them. So they are found in Gandaki River. So it's a holy land. So Bharat Maharaj decided to leave family life and he went to Pulasya Ashram to perform the austerities. And while living in austere life in the forest, he used to take every day, his life was like wake up, take bath in Gandaki River, though it's a cold water, and then recite the prayers from Rig Vedas, perform his meditation, puja, and go in the forest, collect herbs, fruits, vegetables, and offer them to Supreme Lord. And then by doing this, fully engaged in spiritual life, already he was a saintly king, and then he renounced. Now he fully dedicated his life to serving the Supreme Lord. He became very advanced in the process of Krishna consciousness, and he started experiencing extraordinary symptoms. He started experiencing transcendental happiness and love for the Supreme Lord. So like this, he was passing his life. So just a quiz to recap. So what's the purpose of, what's the reason Bharat Maharaj went to Pulashram?
Pursue the spiritual career
Yes.
by worshipping Supreme.
And to renounce everything from one's dear to heart and accept other three options. So the goal was to go to forest to practice spiritual life. So remember, that was his goal. That's the purpose he went. And because Saintly King, he was very compassionate as well. So now when he went there, so one morning he woke up, he took his bath in the Gandaki river, and he was doing his prayers and chanting meditation. That time what he saw was there was one deer who was pregnant. It came to that river to drink the water. And now while drinking water, deers are very alert. They keep looking here, there, because they can get attacked from any side. So while drinking water, what he did, the deer did was, there was a lion who roared loudly, and deer got scared. Now she was drinking water, she got scared that lion is here, and she was pregnant, and she jumped across the river. Now when she jumped across the river, what happened was the baby in the womb fell down into the river, and the baby started floating into the river. And now Bharat Maharaj was there watching it, and the deer jumped across the river, and it was tired, scared, and he went to a cave, inside the cave, and he left the body. And then when deer left her body, then Bharat Maharaj was watching all of this, and the baby deer was floating on the river. So Bharat Maharaj, out of deep compassion, he said that the deer is motherless, there is no mother, let me take care of the deer. So he goes, he picks it up, the deer, and he brings it to his ashram. And this all he did out of great compassion, because he was a saintly king, and saintly people show compassion to every living entity. We saw that before. So, and being a king, he was used to showing compassion to all living entities. So he picked up the deer and he took it to the ashram. And now when he took to the king, and he started feeding grass, he started showing his affection to deer, and he started treating as a pet. So slowly he developed attachment for deer. The deer was cute, nobody was around, so he used to feed them, he used to play with them, he used to hug them. The deer used to play on his body when he slept, and then when he used to go around, and then he was doing meditation, deer will come and bother him. Deer will come, chew his puja items, and he used to wave him off, but he'll again come back. And then slowly, Bharat Maharaj became very attached to the deer. And whenever he was always worried that somebody will eat the deer, some lion will come, some jackal will come, some animals will come and they'll attack the deer. So sometimes he used to carry the deer on his shoulder to the forest to collect the herbs, fruits for his worship, and they come back. And slowly, what happened is Bharat Maharaj became very attached to the deer, and he started neglecting his spiritual life. So here is a quiz that Bharat lifted the helplessly floated deer for just water and brought to his ashram, because what are the options you think are right? C. Yes. He was self-realized to see living being as a spirit, soul, children of God. Right. He was a spiritually saintly person. B. Its mother had died, leaving the child does as an orphan. So what we will do, if you find some orphan, a saintly person, you will show the compassion. So third thing is, it's natural for saintly person to feel compassion for suffering souls. Yes. Nam Ruchi Jivadvaya. The saintly person is like Jivadvaya, show compassion to other living entities. So it would be valuable to have a pet and have a sweet relation to change in dry jungle. That was not his goal. So A, B, C were his motives to go and take care of the deer. So Bharat Maharaj brought the king, and then, as we discussed, that because he became so fond of the deer, as you see in the picture, he started disturbing in his fire sacrifice also. He started bathing the deer, feeding the deer, like we do it for pet. But slowly he became so much attached to deer, then he thought that his main duty is to take care of deer, he forgot what the purpose he came to forest. So he just started taking care of deer, playing with him, and just started neglecting his spiritual duties. So now, here is a big lesson for all of us from his life. Because, see, he was a king, not of a small country, he was a king of entire planet, such an extraordinary instruction, and he was also advanced in spiritual life. But still he got spiritually distracted. So, in all of our life also, we get distracted. So we get distracted in our spiritual life. So anybody like to share how we get distracted in our spiritual life? What are the distractions? Mobile, smartphone, social media, any other things?
Less attention span.
Less attention span.
TV shows,
TV shows.
Managers,
The one. Anything else? Yeah, family commitment. So we have attachment. So there are both, like on daily basis there are distractions and there are also attachment, as she rightly said. There are distraction and there are attachment. Like for example, Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was attached to whom? Yudhishthira, like this, Duryodhana. So although he had such a golden opportunity, Supreme Lord was in front of his eyes. Pitama Bhishma, great soul, instructing him all the time. But just because of his attachment to his son, he could not make good use of such a great opportunity. So we have attachment, we have distractions. So what we have to understand, two things is, these are Vashika Prabhu's phrases, I always love it. He quotes many times. The main thing is to keep main thing the main thing. So what it means is, what's the main purpose of human life? What's the main purpose of human life? Yeah, to return to Godhead. Yeah. So practicing spirituality. So the purpose of human life is go back home, back to Godhead. So that's our main goal. So our human life is the only human body where we can perform austerity, where we can question that what's my goal of life, and do that endeavor to go back home, back to Godhead. Other lives, other animals, they don't have that privilege. 24/7, they have to just focus on either defending them or taking care of their food. But humans have a privilege that we can manage. We can get Saturday, Sunday off. We work 8 hours a day. We don't have to defend on daily. There is a defense we have to do, but there is a lot of opportunity for us. And so that's a thing that we have to make sure that purpose of human life is to achieve spiritual perfection. Once we keep that main thing, everything will fall in place. So, and Vashika Prabhu says again, this is another phrase of one of my favorites, is everything has its place and there is a place for everything. So, like in our life, we can organize such a way that there is a place for everything and everything has its place. So what it means is, we have to manage priorities. For example, in our spiritual life, is there a space for phone? Our life, we need phones. We need relatives, we need family, we need money, we need all these things. So everything has its place and there is a place for everything. But what we have to do, we have to prioritize, or we have to organize things such a way that we can prioritize spirituality. So, for example, in the case of Bharat Maharaj, was not there a space for deer in his life? There was a space for his deer life. It's a pet outside, you take care of him, you grow him, and you just release him in the forest. He will go. So there was a place for him, but he kept that as a priority of life, everything for me. So then he kept it in a wrong place. So that's why it was impacted. So similarly in our life, we have to organize such a way that there is a place for spirituality. There is a place for us so that we can chanting nicely. So as you said, smartphones are always hard. So we have Shamrup Prabhu. I was discussing with him, Prabhu, how you manage? He said, I have this smartphone lockbox. I get that box, I put my phone in night at 9 p.m. and it opens only at 8 a.m. I don't pick up before that. So I also got that. So I found whenever I put that phone in the box and try to chant, I get a good round. So we have to balance it out. Like smartphone have a place, but we just have to place in a way that it doesn't distract us. So these are some lessons we can learn from Bharat Maharaj's life. And personally, also like I was in 12th grade I was studying, and India recently completed the World Cup. So we won the World Cup. So it was 2003 World Cup, and we had our board exams. At that time, board exams were so important. So we used to have paper every day. And then, I think it was a physics paper. That night, there was a cricket match between India and England, I think. So my friend said that, okay, because it's daily paper, all board exams, we work so hard, and all of us lived in another city, and our goal was just to study, nothing else. We lived away from home, worked 2 years very hard, just so that we do good in exam, and that day was a match. So a couple of my friends is like, one of my friends, he said, okay, let's go to mess, eat dinner, and we'll watch match for 30 minutes, and they went. Luckily, my roommate was good. He told me that, hey, let's not go it. We'll manage dinner other place. Because once we go, we'll be stuck. So my friends went. They said that just wanted to watch match for 30 minutes, but it was exciting. Whole night they stayed. And then tomorrow morning after the paper, we met him. That he said, what happened? Hey man, it was difficult because yesterday night, whole night I spent watching match. So when the results came out, he was regretting that, hey, I should not have done it. So same way, now what matters here is the association and what's our goal of life, in spiritual life as well. So now you all know that once the board exams are impacted, throughout the life you have to face the consequences of it. So what helped me was the good association. So it's very important to have a good association. So once the topic of Bharat Maharaj was discussed, and a lecture, when kid came and told that, Maharaj, if Bharat Maharaj had other devotees around him, he would have saved from wasting his life. They would have come and told, Bharat Maharaj, don't get attached, don't make deer very dear. So you would have been saved. So devotees association always help. Personally, in 20 years of my life, I felt that what is the most important thing helped me through different phases of life as a student, as young married, as with kids, because different phases we face different challenges as we go in Krishna consciousness. But one thing always helps is association. Because we are all what we associate with. Like there is a saying that if you see what you want to be, then find out average 5 people around us who are closely associating, most likely you will tend to that direction. So why it helps when you come to devotees association? Because devotees always have one thing in their life. They know what is the purpose of life. So when we come back to association, we see that, hey, there is a higher purpose. See, these devotees are practicing. So it helps us to focus on that purpose. We don't lose that purpose. And once we know that purpose, we can practice spirituality nicely. So even you go to some meetup or some course you take in university, like I was taking some online course, they had get-togethers, they had meetings. So what was the purpose? So that we don't forget how to apply things, how to practice it. So anywhere you go, there are so many conferences. This whole purpose is to come together. So why in Bay Area is popular? The only reason Bay Area is popular because there are a lot of VCs and startup founders. And although it's very costly, you can easily associate with them to achieve the purpose of your building your startup. You can meet VCs, you can meet founders. So that's the reason in Bay Area so many people comes, and that's the specialty of Bay Area for success. So same way we can make sure that in our life we get the association of saintly people, we dedicate our time, we regularly attend the program, and that way we can focus on our goal and don't get distracted like what happened with Bharat Maharaj's life. So now, so once these are the things, okay, we'll take one quiz. can you suggest a corrective action for Bharat Maharaj behavior? So A, he cannot do both, either take care of deer or meditate on God. Let him choose one. Is it right? I think he can take care of both. He just have to balance. Right? What we discussed, like everything has a place and there is a place for everything. B, he has not come to forest for cultivating relationship with deer. I will say throw away the deer. No. Because he's a saintly king. Child is just newborn. He have a compassionate heart. So see, if with the deer his spiritual life is affected, he could let it go with other deers as it is a big now. So that's a right choice, right? So when it grows big, he can just release in the forest and he will take care of it. So, and D is like reduce attachment to deer by putting spiritual life first, deer next. Get help by association. So as we can see, by association as well as putting it in proper place, Bharat Maharaj could have not wasted his life. So what happens next is Bharat Maharaj, now once happens is separation from the lost deer. So what happens is once Bharat Maharaj is trying to meditate, but he's so attached to deer that his meditation breaks. And in the morning he sees in the ashram and he finds that there is no deer. Deer walks out. And now as soon as deer leaves, he started feeling intense separation. And he get very anxious that what happened to deer, where it have gone. There may be some lion have eaten it or jackal have eaten it, because he started treating deer as like his own son. So, and then and he used to call him little princess. So he started burning in the fire of separation from the deer, and he became like a madman. He went off his house and then he started, he saw the footprints of the deer and he started gaining remembrance, and he started wandering like a madman throughout the day, throughout the night, looking where is my deer. Then he started getting the remembrance of deer. Oh, how it was a good time, that all fond memories he was remembering him. And with that so much attachment to deer, he, as he go on, Bhagavatam literally describes he became a madman in so much attachment. And in a flowery language, it is described that he started calling him a prince. He started giving so many very detailed discussion in a graphical way that how he became so much attached to the deer. And finally, in the remembrance of the deer, he goes out and he falls down and he get injured. And now, even though he's injured, he's falling down. He's meditating that a deer came. He's sitting there, and as a child, he is looking after him. He's talking to him, and then in the intense separation from his child, from the deer, he leaves his body. Now, one may say how it is possible. I think in Bay Area, one of the Bay Area specialty of Bay Area is highest. What you say is one stats I was reading that Bay Area have more pet dogs than kids. So no offense to dogs. So if you see, once we went to a new apartment to search for, just find out the new apartment. So there was then when we were walking around how is the community, the old couple came with their dog, and I think they were living alone and the only thing they had was a dog. So then when I started speaking with them, they were explaining about dogs so affectionately, it was so much attachment that nothing about having a dog as a pet, but I could see that they were so much attached to the pet. Then I could realize that it is possible that Bharat Maharaj could get attached to pet so much. So Bharat Maharaj became so much attached to the pet, and then he left his life. So now, what do you think, what would have happened to Bharat Maharaj after he left life? What would have been his next life? Yeah. So what's the proof for it? Means leaves his body, then what's the reason for this?
Because the attachment and then remembrance.
Attachment and remembrance of that. So in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8.8, 5th and 6th verse of the 8th chapter, Krishna talks about it. So he gives these 4 reasons. So which are true, state of the mind at the time of death. Whatever state of mind we have while quitting the body at death, we attain that state. Is right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Then second is influence of life habits. Our mental state during the life determines the positive, negative, or spiritual thoughts at the time of death.
Yeah.
Like whatever is our mental state at the time of death, we go to that planet. Then power of gratitude. The grateful thoughts for loved ones are essence of life. Such feeling of death signifies a successful life. I think.
No.
Making a wise choice. We get what we seek, sense gratification or Krishna. The choice determines our ultimate destination. So whatever choice we make that destination. It's like the sitting in the train. What destination you choose, you will go there. So that's exactly right. So Bhagavad Gita 2 verses very nicely explains. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 5th verse. Antakale cha mameva smaran mukta kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastastra samshaya. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, I once attained my nature. Of that, there is no doubt. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajatante kalevaram tam tam me vaiti konteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. What your state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So Krishna is telling that whatever state we think of while leaving the body, we will attain that state. So now we all have a choice. So someone was telling, Radhesham Prabhu was asking one boy that, Prabhuji, what I will do, I will enjoy whole life and then I will think of Krishna's name and I will do suicide. But that's not the way it works. You go to destiny where you are very much attached throughout the life. So we can see Bharat Maharaj, he became so much attached to the deer, and that state he got. So same thing, it's something to think about us that what the end goal we want to achieve in our life, and that's something we should always try to keep focus on. And I think in Govardhan Eco Village there was a workshop which I attended. So the workshop they told that okay, write down that what you want to be remembered for. It's called like autobiography of yourself. So when you pass down, when you leave, write down your autobiography. That was the first exercise they gave to us, that write down your autobiography, that when you leave the world, for what purpose you want people to be remembered. So when I started writing, that was a good exercise. I felt that wow, means you have to really think that, because that's what something we want to pass on as legacy, as well as for ourselves, that what's my goal in life. So that was a good exercise. And then they started the later session, that first to write down what exactly you want to be, people to be remembered about you. So we have to think about what's our goal, what exactly the next destination we want to achieve. And then based on that, we can plan our life, we can live our life such a way that we can attain it. So that's the lesson from Bharat Maharaj. Now what happens next is Bharat Maharaj gets a body of a deer. So now Bharat Maharaj becomes a deer and he gets the body. Generally all of us we don't have that much pious karma, but because of that we forget. But what's the nature of spiritual life? Like what happens if I practice bhakti for some time and we leave? What happens? We have to start again? Like how it works?
You can continue from that same
yes.
spiritual progress.
Exactly. So neha vikarmanashosti pratyavayana utyate swalpamasya dharmasya tayato mahato bhaya. So neha vikarmanashosti. Devotional service is eternal. We may do many investment, our money, our prestige, our social status, everything we have to live in this world. And now it's something to contemplate. We may just say that he became a deer, but imagine Bharat Maharaj is a king of the planet. You are such a big king, you rule the entire planet, and next life you are a deer, what's your status? So such a drastic fall down. We may just take it literally, but just see that what's the state, what a suffering he has, like right from a king just becoming an ordinary deer in the forest. So it's a very big fall down. But Bharat Maharaj was determined. And Krishna was so merciful because Bharat Maharaj was a very advanced devotee that he got the remembrance of his past life. He could remember all his past life and all previous spiritual knowledge. Now, because he could remember his past life and his spiritual knowledge, he was very attentive in deer's life. He just took care of his family, and as a deer, you go, as a deer, he decided to go again to Pulasya ashram to take the association of sadhus. And even in the deer bodies, he started doing Ashtanga yoga, he started only eating dry leaves, started performing austerities, and he was determined that I don't want to get back into the life. And like dry grass, lived a very austere life, and again try to take the association of, he tried to take association of saintly people. Like this, even though as a deer, he decided to practice spiritual life. And that was his commitment. He was determined. And Bharat Maharaj was fortunate that he could remember his previous life. But we are not that fortunate that we can remember his past life. Some may ask that why Krishna doesn't give us the remembrance of past life, right? Because it's easy to remember. But two things, it's very difficult. If you remember our past life, who knows what was life we had, which animal we had, what kind of things we have done. So we cannot live sanely in this world. If you see what life we had, like we are some hog or some, like very difficult. So in fact, the people who have some, like we have seen the scientific stories of the past that some people get the remembrance of past life. It's very traumatic experience. It's not easy. They get bad dreams. It's very suffering. So it's Krishna's mercy that he gives us the forgetfulness. But from scriptures we can learn that we should practice spiritual life nicely so that we can make a good progress, and in this lifetime we can go back home, back to Godhead. It's very hard, but it's possible. Prabhupada says it's possible. If we practice sincerely, he will take us. We can go back home, back to Godhead. So he ends his life, and next life he comes back as a Jada Bharata. So he takes back as a Jada Bharata, and now as a king, as a Jada Bharat, now he knows, he remembers all past two lives. He knows he's a king, he knows he was a deer. Now the third life, King Jada Bharata, he is so determined to practice spirituality that it's very amazing character that he, as a King Jada Bharata, he was not a king, he's just as a Jada Bharata, he is determined to practice his spirituality, and he want to make sure that he doesn't commit any mistake, don't get attached to anything, don't deal with material things. It's very extraordinary character. So then in Bhagavatam his teachings are described. So once he then during Jada Bharata's life, as he travels, what they do is once the king Rahuguna, he's a saintly king, he was traveling, and they go on palanquin, and then they go on palanquin now because they need 4 people, but one of their person became sick. So because one person became sick, they go and try to find someone. And Jada Bharata is lives a very, it's like if you see a spy, spy is very intelligent, but if in the enemy country, he is like a very secret. He doesn't tell who he is, he may be at very big post, he may have a lot of intelligence, a lot of devices, but he lives like a spy because he don't want to reveal outside people because he don't know what's right and wrong. So Jada Bharata lives his life like a spy, very hidden. He knows everything, he can do everything, but he acts in a way that as if he doesn't know anything. He's a very dumb guy, just a spy kind of thing. So, so he lives like a spy. And then this king is going, because now he needs fourth person. So they go and capture him. And that, hey, you have to help king to take him with, like, carry the palanquin. And he is very healthy. So Jadabharata comes and he takes the palanquin and he starts walking. So other three people walks, but he walks slowly in a very different rhythm. So if you have seen on the palanquin, two people on the front, two back, you have to walk in rhythm. Otherwise you fall down or it hurts. So that King Rahuguna, because Bharat Maharaj is not walking properly, so King Rahuguna feels bumps. And then he gets down and is chastises Bharat Maharaj that what are you doing? Why you are not walking properly? And then Jadabharata says that, oh, actually there are ants on the street, insects on the street, and I don't want to step on it. And that's why I'm walking very carefully without that. And then King Rahuguna becomes very angry, and then like once he gets down, he becomes angry. As soon as he listens, he understands that, hey, looks like he's not an ordinary person, and he's very extraordinary. So throughout his life, Bharat Maharaj never speaks to anyone, but when King Rahuguna realizes that, hey, he's not an ordinary person, looks like he's a very saintly and advanced soul. Let me ask him the question. So that time, Bharat Maharaj starts speaking the philosophy of life. And in Bhagavatam, there are several instructions that given by Jadabharata to King Rahuguna. They are amazing instructions. He describes the forest of material life, that how in material world there are different types of plunderers. Or one thing I was struck that Bhagavatam says that there will be always people who want to steal. There will be always trouble from other people as well as tax collector to take your taxes. I was reading that and I felt like, wow. Bhagavatam also confirms there will be someone saying that there are two things permanent: holy name of the Lord, death, and taxes. So everyone has to go through it. So that way Bharat Maharaj in his third life achieves the perfection. You can read Bhagavatam, his story in more detail, and he goes back home, back to Godhead. So that's the life of Bharat Maharaj. We will quickly recap what lessons we learned today. So we learned that importance of spiritual discipline, like body is a tool for spiritual realization. We use it wisely because human body is the only where we can do austerity and practice spiritual life. We learned about balancing responsibilities. Yes, we have material responsibilities. We have responsibility to our kids, spouse, our manager, our country, nation. But at the same time, we have a responsibility for our own spiritual life. So we have to make a time. Just like we put money in 401k account, we save money. Same way, whatever time we have, time is also an energy of like a currency. We invest some time to take care of spiritual life, and we seek association and we prioritize it. And like we seek association and guidance so that we can properly navigate in the spiritual life. Just like in a career, we need a guidance to grow. Same way in spiritual life, if we have a proper guidance, we can progress in our spiritual life. And then is like avoid bad association. So like Bharat Maharaj or other people, we can see like there is a story of Ajamila. So how the bad association can influence you. And we can see as a deer, Bharat Maharaj repented. He performed austerities and he took association to mitigate the past neglect, so that he can again rejuvenate his spiritual life and go back home, back to Godhead. So good association, regular spiritual practice, and avoiding bad habits help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. We'll stop here and we'll take any questions, comments. Anybody have any questions? Any reflections? Okay. Please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Slides are very good, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Also, Is this Bharat the brother of Rama Prabhu, or is it a different Bharat?
No, he is a Bharat is like Sri Ram had 4 brothers, right? They are the sons of Dasharatha, like Bharat, Shatrughan, Lakshman, and Ram. And this Bharat Maharaj is the son of Vrishabdeva. Vrishabdeva have 100 sons, so he is the son of not son of Dashrath Maharaj.
Which yuga from?
Prabhu, this yuga I don't remember. Most likely it's Satyuga, or because Bharat Maharaj is described lived like he was a king for 100 and like 10,000 years or 100,000 years. So he ruled for a long time.
One question, Prabhu. Since from beginning he did austerities, he showed compassion to people, he did spirituality. Why did he get that problem at the end of his life, and why couldn't Krishna give a chance for him to realize that he is falling and gave a hand? How to understand this, Prabhu?
Yes, a very nice question. I think I'll just, even in fact, Shukadeva Goswami also had the same question, that how come such a saintly person was impacted by this life. One is, we cannot understand the life of pure devotees. So we'll read the verse as it is. Okay. So one thing is, Krishna does this because we get our lessons for common people. He's an extraordinary soul, so that through his devotees, through his devotees, he can teach us the lesson. So here Shukadeva Goswami says that, my dear king, so I would like to read from, this is exactly the question Shukadeva Goswami had. He describes it nicely.
Hare Krishna. Hello, Hare Krishna. Yes, Sukadeva Goswami continued, my dear king, in this way Bharat Maharaj was overwhelmed by an uncontrollable desire which was manifest in the form of the deer. Due to the fruitive results of his past deeds, he fell down from mystic yoga, austerity, and worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If it were not due to his past fruitive activity, how could he have been attracted to the deer after giving up the association of his own son and family, considering them stumbling blocks of the path of spiritual life? How could he show such uncontrollable affection for a deer? This was definitely due to his past karma. The king was so engrossed in petting and maintaining the deer that he fell down from his spiritual activities. In due course of time, insurmountable death, which is compared to a venomous snake that enters the hole created by a mouse, situated itself before him.
Yeah, so you got the answer. So he says that because of his past karma, but many times we can read the purport of Prabhupada. So it's to give us the lesson for that. Because, and many times Krishna puts the devotees in difficulty so that they become famous. Like for example, if you take Arjuna, Pandavas, they had to go through so much suffering. Krishna would have given kingdom easily, but Krishna put in so much austerity. There is a Vanvas, there is Agyatavas, there is so much suffering, and then they had to fight and they become the king. Arjuna lost his 5 sons, so many people died. So Krishna does this so that his devotees become famous, so that he likes to glorify. So Bharat Maharaj now, because he lived such an exemplary life, he was included in Bhagavatam and known now everywhere. So thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice question. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, nice presentation. Thank you. I learned a lot. Prabhuji, so Jainism, we also follow Jainism. So 24 Tirthankar, Rishabdev is one of the Tirthankar. So last Tirthankar, we know that Jainism came into existence like 2500 years ago, like Buddhism and both came into existence. So Rishabdev was from Satyuga?
Yes, he is from many years.
So they were following Sanatana Dharma only.
Yes.
at that time. So
Yeah. So basically, Bhagavatam is like generally how we write history, right? This king came, after that another king came, after that third thing came. So Bhagavatam is a itihasas. So if you see Indian literature, if you study Indian literature, the Vedic body of this, so we don't write like as a society, or we have not put emphasis, or what our ancestor passed on is what's most important to us. Not like this king took birth and another king took birth, he ruled it. So they could have written down, but they passed down us to Vedas, Itihasas, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranas, because they were so important. So the stories are from many, many yugas and many, many days of Brahma. It's not just one. There is no chronological order. These are the stories, it's a collection of the stories from many, many yugas, many, many lifetimes of Brahma. So that way, it's little, time chronology is not that important. Does that help?
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful session. I was thinking the quote which you mentioned from Vishwachakra Maharaj, that everything has a place and we should put everything in place. I was thinking if I am able to embrace it and dissolve it in my life will be sorted. But when I was rethinking on it, I was thinking about the people who are in army or the soldiers who are on the border. As far as I know, they have a very rigorous life. They are very disciplined. They follow a very proper schedule. They also wake up early. But they, as such, I think they don't have the time or the space for spirituality. They consider Bharat Mata or whatever country soldiers they are as their mother or everything. So for people who are in that role in this life, for them spirituality is not important because they have a bigger role to play to save the border, save the country. So for them, how do we take, like, is that good, or how should we take it up?
Yeah,
Understand
actually, spiritual is the most important from them as well. So if you see Arjuna, what was Arjuna? Arjuna was a warrior, right? He was a soldier. He was fighting the battlefield. The Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield. And in fact, they need more than us, because it takes a courage to go and fight. It's not an ordinary act. If you see a sound of gunshot, we run out. So it takes a courage, it takes a deep understanding of life. Beyond that, more spiritual knowledge to go and fight for dharma. So they also need spirituality, and they can also practice it. Now, different people can practice different way. Like for example, soldiers retire very early, right? Like 38, 37, like unless they are like a lot of short term, I don't remember, but anywhere they retire very early. So they can also practice, they can cultivate life, and for them it's much easier because they can see that life is so temporary, because they have been in that situation so many times. It's so difficult. So if they take in right attitude, they can also practice.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you so much. Any other questions? I think now we have 6:45. We have any other reflections anyone to share? Yeah.
Thank you for the class. Yeah, it was very, very insightful. I was actually reflecting on the point. It came up even in the reading call, which we generally have, but like just how we go from the human life to any other life form. And I mean, Bharat Maharaj, because of his austerities and penances, he was still able to remember, and he was able to make some progress in even being a deer. But any other person, anybody else, it would be so difficult to even like realize, and then you basically commit all the same mistakes, and then you go through the whole cycle. So it just emphasizes like how
how precious the human life is. Yes, exactly. We got this opportunity. Let's make best use of it. Thank you so much. I think we'll have a presentation from youth. I hope they are ready. They are coming. Yes. Oh, they have a class.
So, okay, they are waiting for the matter.
Yes, please.
We all here have families and everything, right?
Yes.
Kids and families, husband, wife, and everything. So we say that detachment is the most important thing to go further in spiritual life. We all are married and we are attached to so many things. Forget about material life, at least, right? The family life, we are all attached. If you have to be detached from that, how can we even detach from a family?
Yeah, I think we are grahasthas, so we can I think how can we detach from family? See, the example is given, like especially the path of bhakti is come with the higher taste. So if you see a magnet, it will stick something. If you put in a higher environment, it will stick something. If you remove from one corner, it will go to another corner. So same way, we are a conscious being. We need to be attached to something. So we don't try to artificially detach. The natural way is we try to get attracted to Krishna. We become attached to Krishna. And as a side effect of that, we slowly become detached from other things. We don't put extra endeavor just for the detachment. We pushed endeavors to get attached to Krishna. And once we become attached to Krishna, then we start seeing everything in a right perspective. For example, we got like a grahastha. When we are attached to Krishna, we see that, oh, these wife, kids, these are all, Krishna have given me the responsibility to take care of him. So as long as Krishna is providing me that this duty, I will fulfill that. So it's not about detachment, it's about attachment to Krishna. And once we develop our attachment, we will start seeing things in a proper perspective. And that automatically we will become detached. We don't have to put endeavor to detach, because we can't artificially be detached. Because if you try to artificially detach, then you will become attached to something else. So once we become attracted to Krishna, we become truly satisfied, and that we can automatically detach from things. Yeah. So we just focus on cultivating attachment to Krishna rather than cultivating detachment. Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everyone. Yeah. So while Shriyan is setting up, so just like last week, we started the kids giving small presentations, 10-minute presentations. So today we're going to hear from Shriyan about the difference between material and spiritual success and what lessons we can learn from a few stories. So, yeah. So give it up for Shriyan.
It's Krishna's panther, it's in blue color.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Today,
Krishna.
I'll be talking about the weight of sincerity. Here are two people, Winston and Thomas Edison. They're great successes in the material view of success. Does anybody know anything about them? Just please shout out.
Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of Great Britain. During
Winston
World
was the Prime Minister of Britain, yeah. Okay. Just shout out.
Edison invented the light bulb.
Edison invented, okay, yeah. So both of these people failed multiple times before succeeding. And they succeeded. That's why there were successes that's why there were successes. Or at least that's what people thought. Today, we will meet someone who has simply failed and but was celebrated as the greatest success in the eyes of God. What does it mean to fail materially but succeed spiritually? Material success, the material view of success, is based on the scale of the outcome. The marks scored, the battles won, the goals achieved, the wealth accumulated. But the spiritual view of success is purely based on the pure effort given. It's on the quality of the offering, the intention, the devotion, the sincerity, the love of the offering. Spiritual success is the quality, not the quantity of the work. Let's meet the greatest example of spiritual success dressed in material failure. His name is Jatayu. How was he a failure? He attacked Ravana without calculation, fought until his wings were severed. Sita was not saved, neither was his life. But how was he a spiritual success? He tried his best to save Mother Sita, and we can understand how by hearing his story. As Ravana was carrying Mother Sita through the sky, Jatayu saw him, and immediately he flew to Mother Sita's aid. And Mother Sita told him, "Don't fight. You're old. You can't fight. You're gonna die. Just go tell Lord Ram that Ravana kidnapped me and don't fight." But Jatayu couldn't. He said, "Mother, I can't stay like this. I can't sit idly while you're getting kidnapped." So even though he knew that he would lose his life, he decided he would try his best. And we know that even though one of his wings got chopped off, he kept fighting. And both of his wings got chopped off at the end. And he fell down. But he held on to his final breath just to deliver one message. 3 words. As Lord Rama and Lakshmana were going through the forest shouting, "Sita! Sita!" Lord Rama found a big pool of blood. When he went to the source of that blood, he found a creature with a large beak and sides profusely shedding blood. He thought that maybe this is the creature that killed my Sita and is now suffering the consequences. But he got so angry that he took his bow and was about to kill the creature. But then that creature spoke up. "My Lord Ram, I'm Jatayu, your father's best friend." When both of them were young, Dashath and Jatayu became friends through an incident. Then Dashath Maharaj promised Jatayu that he would give Dashath Maharaj's son. Dashath Maharaj would give Dashath Maharaj's son as to Jatayu, and Jatayu promised that he would take care of that son as his own. So Jatayu told him that, and Rama remembered. And then Jatayu delivered those 3 words. He delivered that message. He said, "Ravana kidnapped Sita," and he left his body. And then Lord Rama cradled him in his arms, and he said, the death of my father Dashrath, and even the loss of my wife Sita is not paining my heart as much as such a devotee from this world as Jatayu. Why? Dashrath and Mother Sita were way closer to Lord Ram. But because God does not weigh victory. He weighs the sacrifice. And Jatayu gave a great sacrifice, his life. He gave him like proper burial rites and stuff. And usually we don't give burial rites to animals. But he did that because he considered Jatayu as his own father. Now, let's meet the smallest hero of the Ramayana. As the big Vanaras were taking boulders and slabs of stones, mountain peaks, some even hills. Some other animals were trying to take other rocks and the pebbles, some even sand, to help build the Ram Setu bridge. As a few such squirrels were taking a few pebbles and putting them on the Ram Setu bridge, Hanuman almost crushed a few of them. So he was holding a big boulder, so he just brushed them away slightly with his foot. So Rama was watching this from a distance, and he went to Hanuman, and he asked Hanuman, "Oh Hanuman, why do you think that I'm asking all of you to build this bridge? I can just drive the ocean, fly to Lanka, or just snap my fingers and make Ravana's heartbeat stop." Hanuman thought for a moment and he said, "My Lord Ram, that's because you want everyone to feel engaged, valued, and most importantly, get your mercy." Lord Rama nodded. "Yes, Hanuman, everyone. Everyone means even squirrels. So don't brush them away next time you see them." Then he went to the squirrel and he took the squirrel and he, like, as a show of affection, he just on the squirrel's back, he just did like this. And Radhanath Swami, he said that in bhakti, it is not dependent on what we know or what we can do or even what we have. It is dependent on our sincerity to please Krishna. Doing our best is better than being the best, because even if we don't get recognized as the best, we always will by Krishna. A pebble can weigh more than a mountain. Does anybody know how? Because if the pebble is infused with love, and even if there's a tiny tinge of haughtiness in the mountain, the pebble can weigh more. Lord Rama told Hanuman that the squirrel is doing as much as you, Hanuman. To me, a grain of sand and a mountain, there's no difference. It is a devotion. He's doing the very best he can. I'm going to ask two questions. The first question is, how many of you have felt that I'm doing my best? And in everything I'm doing my best, but I'm getting overshadowed. How many of you feel like that? Please raise your hand. A lot of us do. And how many of you feel that I'm looking back and all the service, seva, help I've done to others didn't make much of a difference? How many of you feel like that? A lot of us do like that too. Feel like that too. The Jatayu and squirrel stories answer both of these questions. The Jatayu story answers the question. The Jatayu story tells us that actually, even if we're getting overshadowed and it doesn't look like we're doing much, and if we fail because we're not being the best, that doesn't count as failing, because Krishna is always looking. The same message gets conveyed by the squirrel story. The squirrel story teaches us that even if we aren't making much of a difference, all the work we're done, even if it doesn't make much of a difference, that's fine. Because Krishna doesn't look at the difference it made. He looks at how hard you're trying. Our achievements will be forgotten. Our rank will be overtaken. But sincerity offered to God lasts forever. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Feel free to give him any comments, as Prabhuji last week was saying, Shapra was saying, you can use the sandwich method if you want. You can compliment. If you have anything you wanted to add or talk about, or any feedback, then you can mention that. And then again, compliment, because he's done a lot of work, and you can see that by his presentation. So anybody, you can just raise your hand.
Thank you for the presentation. It was amazing. And I feel just a reflection on that. I think the examples that you chose to deliver this message, I think they were very spot on. I think those are very well-known characters from the Ramayana story. But more than that, the topic that delivers here, right? Like how we often tend to measure our success in material terms. So they were actually even I didn't realize that they were sort of failure in that point of view, from that point of view. But we today, even after thousands and thousands of years, remember their name and remember what they did. So that speaks about what they. So thank you, and again, very, very nicely picked examples to deliver the message.
Hare Krishna. It was very nice presentation and you did beautiful job. You explained such a way that young kids can also understand and the adult can also relate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shane, for this presentation. So I think you stressed the importance of respect, whether you're a kid or just an adult, right? Basically, putting your effort, show your sincere effort, that's more than the results. So basically, I think that applies to everybody here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Shriyan. The slides were so beautiful and so well organized content. So I know you like Ramayana a lot. So what other story inspires you apart from this?
Other than Ramayana, Prabhuji?
No, what other story in Ramayana inspires you very much, apart from this squirrel and Jatayu?
In this context, it's... Yeah, sure. Hanuman, in one way, he failed when he went to Lanka, because he didn't get back Mother Sita. But he actually didn't fail because materially also, because the mission he went there was to find Sita, not bring her back. So, but.
Hare Krishna, Shreya. Can you go to the slide where you had some greater than symbol? I missed that. If you could explain us again.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, this is a third slide. Okay, so here, so Lord Rama got the squirrel, and as a show of affection, he just he put 3 fingers on the squirrel's back and just like gave it stripes like that as a show of mercy and love. In Radhanath Maharaj, he says that in bhakti, it is not dependent on what we know, what we can do, or what we have. Meaning that it doesn't matter how wealthy we may be, how like everything we have, even knowledge, anything. It's all solely dependent on our sincerity, our love, our devotion. And doing our best is always going to be better than being the best. Meaning that even if we aren't the best, like for example, like in a science fair project, if we tried our best in the project, that's what Krishna sees. He doesn't really care if you got first place. Though if you usually in normally if we do try your best, then you usually get to be first, or like you usually are the best. But even if that doesn't happen, as long as you did your best, that doesn't, yeah.
Anybody else have anything? Any of the kids have anything they want to ask or share?
Hare Krishna, Shri. So I was wondering, so what if somebody has the right intent, but they fail miserably? So I just wanted to understand, like, how come, like, let's say there's a doctor, but they're a bad doctor, right? And then they fail in the surgery, but it's not their fault because they did the best they can possibly do. But like, you just explain, like, what if you do your best but you still fail and you hurt others? How can we avoid this?
Even if you are doing your best, for example, a first grade person goes to like some coding company and like, I want a job, and they give him a job, and then he starts working. He has absolutely no idea what the stuff on the screen are and everything, but he just like starts working because he wants money. Now that's not gonna help because he doesn't have wisdom. He doesn't know what he's doing, even though he might be doing his best. He might be like trying his best to like learn and everything, but still he doesn't know what he's doing. So first he should like go through from first. He should like get like a bunch of college degrees and all those stuff, and then he should get a job, and then yeah. So he should like have wisdom too. He should know what he's doing. So even if he's doing his best, he should also have wisdom.
Your presentation was very well made and inspiring. So yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay, yeah. So everybody can clap again for sure. You can do announcements first. You can do announcements.
Such a wonderful question. Arun, such a wonderful question.
I want to let others know why
You're lucky I did. You're lucky I didn't ask you how long it took.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I'll just go through quickly with the announcements for the week. And then we'll have a short kirtan before we take prasadam. So the announcements again, please remember to sit with your groups. Okay, if you can hear me, please say shh. Thank you. Okay, so please remember to sit with your groups. Again, we'll follow the same pattern. So brown group and green group are sitting in the hall, kids in the kitchen, youth in the front room. Blue group is sitting in the 2 bedrooms, and the violet group is sitting in the master bedroom. So we'll follow the same pattern, so please do that. And again, we request everyone to please come on time so that we can start our Kirtan on time and again, the entire program flows well from that point of view. So everyone who came on time helps us set up. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. To all our consistent chanters who join our morning chanting calls, we had 35 people join this week. So thank you to each and every one of them. And thank you Prashant for organizing these calls, Then thank you for Balaji Prabhu to leading the kids chanting call. Again, if any kids are interested, that call happens every weekday at 7:30 p.m. So please reach out to Balaji Prabhu. He can help you. And then thank you for Venuji and buddies for all the communication, the reminders, the RSVP links. So thank you for doing that. And thank you to Madhuri Mataji and Balaji Prabhu for again organizing the prasadam menus and like the quantities and all of that. Again, a lot of coordination goes in that every week after week. So thank you Prabhu and Mataji. And thank you to all the wonderful teachers who take their time and prepare so much in advance for the kids classes. And every kid loves their classes. So thank you for all the hard work on that. And I think, yeah. So for the cooks this week, I'll just take all the Mataji's names. So we have puri, chole and jeera rice and dhokla today with yogurt and sweets. So we have puris by Dipali Mataji, Rupal Mataji, Sarita Mataji, Sujita Mataji and Manju Mataji. We have chole by Sandhya Mataji, Khushbu Mataji, Kanchan Mataji and Shakshi Mataji. Please applaud their efforts with full heart. It's a lot of work that they do. So, we have jeera rice by Mayuri Mataji, Shrija Mataji and Shyama Mataji. We have dhokla by Shyama Mataji and Khushbu Mataji.